So let's take a look at an example of applying our scope rules. So in this case, I have, well, a good amount of code over here. So we have this class called rules, and we have several things declared. We have 3 static variables declared outside of all of our methods. We have rate, z, and t. I have a main method, and inside of it, I have variables num, x, z, and ch declared. I have another method that's called one, which parameters x and y. I have another static int, w, and I have another method called to, which has arguments parameters 1 and z. And inside of there, I have 2 variables declared ch and z, and then I have this additional block, which we're going to call block 3, of an integer that's declared as x. So with all these identifiers, we can check to see where each one is visible. So where are all these identifiers visible? Are they visible in 1, 2, block 3, or even in main? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each identifier we have in this code, and we're going to figure out where it's declared. Now, if you want to try to figure this out before I go over all this, I recommend pausing the video at this point, because I'm just going to go over each identifier one at a time. So just go ahead and pause, see if you can fill out this table yourself, and then when you're done, resume the video and compare with what I have on here. So our first identifier is going to be the rate, and since it is a static variable that's declared outside of every method, we're allowed to use it in all of the methods because I don't have any other identifier in these methods that's called rate. So it is visible in 1, it's visible in 2, it's visible in 3, and it is visible in main. Okay, so what about our static int z? Well, it's going to be visible in 1 because it's a static identifier, and we don't have z declared in 1. So we're good there, but everything else we can't use it in there because if we look at the method 2, we already have a z declared there. So our original z can't be accessed in there. And if it's not visible in 2, then it's certainly not visible in 3 because once again, z is already declared in there. Same thing goes with main. We have a double z already declared, so we can't use our static int z in main. So what about t? Well, t is a static variable, so that means that we can use it in any of our methods as long as t isn't declared in there. And if we take a look in 1, 2, 3 in main, we don't have t declared anywhere, so sure enough, this t is visible in all of our methods. Okay, now what about our main method? We never really said the rule for methods, but they work pretty much similar to variables. I mean, it is a static method, so since it is static, it is visible in every other method as long as it's not declared in there. Well, we don't really declare methods, so main is in fact visible everywhere else, even though we probably aren't going to call main anywhere. In fact, you're not even allowed to call main, but sure enough, according to our scope rules, it is visible everywhere. Now, what about all the variables in main? So remember, our rule is if we have a local variable, it's only visible within that method. So in this case, these local variables can only be visible in main. It can't be seen in 1, 2, or block 3. It can only be visible in main. So we would have no, 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 and yes. As for the method one, just like with main, methods, if they're declared as static, they are visible everywhere. So in this case, the method 1 is visible in everywhere else. It's visible within itself, it's visible in 2, it's visible in 3, it's visible in main. So I could call 1 in any of those areas of my program. Now, what about the parameter x? This is a declared variable within 1, and just like local variables, we can think of parameters for a method as local variables. They're only visible within that method. So in this case, this x is visible in the method 1, but it's not visible anywhere else because we can think of this parameter as a local variable. And the same is true for the parameter y. Once again, it's a parameter, so we can think of it as a local variable for 1. So we can only see it in 1 and not everywhere else. As for W, it's a static int. It's declared outside of any method. And because it's static, we can use it in any of the other methods as long as we don't have W already declared. And in this case, I don't have W declared in main, so it's visible there. It's not declared in 1, so it's visible there. It's not declared in method 2 or in block 3. So sure enough, W in this case is visible everywhere in my program. As for method 2, just like with main and 1, it's a static method, so it is visible everywhere in the program. It's visible in all the other methods as long as I don't have a 2 defined in there. So in this case, it is perfectly fine. It's visible in 1, 2, 3, and main. Now, as for the parameter 1, it's considered a local variable in 2, so therefore it's only visible in 2. Now it is visible in 3 because it is a block within 2. So since it is a local variable, I can see it in the entirety of method 2, which includes the block that we created inside that method. So it's visible in 2 and in 3, but it's not visible in 1 or main because I can't use that same name in those other methods. And the same thing is true for Z. It's a parameter for 2, which means we can think of it as a local variable. So we can see it in 2, we can see it in block 3, but we cannot see it in methods 1 or main. The variables in 2, well, they are local variables. So just like the parameters 1 and Z, they can only be visible in 2 and in block 3, but nowhere else. And then finally, the X that is declared in block 3, it's only visible in block 3 because of our rule that says that if we declare something inside a pair of curly braces, it's only visible in that pair of curly braces. So this X is not visible outside of that curly braces. So it's not visible in 2, and of course, it's definitely not visible in 1 or in main.